Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bama Standard. As always, we are brought to you by Workspace Solutions and Oakmont Financial Partners, LLC. I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is a former All-SEC linebacker, Marvin Constant. Glad to have him back this week. And the master of leg day, two-time national champion, Bo Scarborough, and senior analyst of Touchdown, Alabama Magazine, Stephen M. Smith. What up, fellas?
The master of the leg day.
Yeah, man. Listen, if you want some inspiration, follow Bo's story time. I know, right?
Man, you still doing box jumps on that 6-inch box?
Tonight, we are sponsored by Faygo Cotton Candy.
Cotton Candy Faygo.
He does. He does.
How you training and you drinking a cotton candy? You know how many carbs is in that?
I'm different, man.
Built different.
Hey,
I would expect that from Stephen M. Smith or from Justin, but not you.
hey, listen. You know how they have that? You know what I'm saying? It's always that one. They be like, you ain't been one of them in a long time.
I'm just glad you ain't drinking Mad Dog 2020 on here. So I guess.
Oh no, I don't drink liquor. Period.
Oh, keeping it clean.
Let me
That's what's
find
up.
out you got a fifth of Thunderbird over there.
I don't even know what
It's right below him.
look like.
You got a bottle of that pluck over there.
Well, Bo, you know that ever since these squat videos have been coming out, all of a sudden now Marvin's putting out leg day videos.
Oh, is he?
He has been.
I'm glad I'm motivating you, Marv.
That was one video just to update my progress. The fact that I'm back to normal after 3 months.
Ain't nothing wrong with, anybody. Listen, young people can motivate older people.
Motivating older people is what he's doing. That's what he.
But Marvin, what's your chaos for the week, Marvin? What's that chaos like?
Yes, let's go ahead and jump in that, Marvin. We hadn't heard a good constant chaos in a while. What you got this week after being off last week?
Man, how did they just pay Deshaun Watson $250 million guaranteed? Like, to me, that is insane. Like, how do you justify paying him $250 million? How?
And they sold their soul to do it too. That's another point to add to that little snippet you just added.
So
I'm
you're
just saying, like, if you Baker Mayfield,
but you pay him $250 million, but then you got the kid from Michigan who tears his Achilles working out for pro day who's going to lose money.
Yeah,
it's like it's all backwards the way they do business.
I completely agree. I
mean, does anybody not see anything wrong with that? There should be something in place for if someone gets hurt at a pro day or a combine that they're compensated for that.
right?
You know, that shouldn't be a free injury. If I get hurt doing that, I need somebody to write me a check for something. You know, so
You talking about from an organizational level, or
I mean, whether it's from the league or from the organization, you know, I mean, whatever it may be, you know, like when Bo got that splinter at pro day and they gave him that fingernail clipper and a bag of Cheetos, they compensated him for it.
Hold on, a fingernail clip and a bag of Cheetos. No,
You got jokes, huh? You got jokes, huh?
he had that Faygo too. but which leads me to ask the question: what about the Lloyds of London? What kind of insurance does that provide guys like his situation? Is it enough to kind of compensate what's happened, or what do you think?
I mean, he'll get compensated if he has a policy. You know, they have that loss of value policy, but still, I mean, that's a lot to deal with. You know, it's like if you had a job interview and you get hurt. You know, like it's kind of I was on y'all time, right? You know,
Clock in, yeah, right.
right.
I'm all for it. Yeah, absolutely right. So I just think that the Cleveland, first of all, is putting all their eggs in one basket that may or may not pan out. And just to clear things up, are all his legal problems gone? Have they been expunged? Where are we in that?
Well, they said they weren't pursuing any criminal charges against him, but there hadn't been anything stated as to whether or not the league was going to suspend him going into the season.
Okay. And one more thing, we didn't hear you make the comment last week because you weren't here, but what is your take on this ongoing soap opera known as Ajayi Hall? Because even more drama has been added today.
What happened today?
Well, supposedly
he's
he
still
gone,
taking
right?
social media.
Well, that's the thing. Supposedly he's no longer on the roster, but then comes back an hour later and retweets or what have you, saying this is the first I've heard of it. But it's just been a back and forth thing, so it's kind of up in the air. The biggest thing to me is it's time to cut bait. It's time to just let it go, be done with it. It's been a distraction for way too long. These guys.
Nobody took his Twitter yet. My God.
I mean, he still got it. He still got it, and like the craziest thing is,
I blame you, Stephen F. Smith. I thought you was his mentor. What happened, man?
hold on, I'm not
led this man
mentoring
astray.
him. Hold on now, I'm not mentoring him. That's the player's job. My job is to just stand at the door.
I thought you
That's my
was a
job.
player. You just got your Tinder profile up and you've been going on all these dates.
Yes,
playing.
sir. That's a very good observation, Marvin.
Hold on.
Let's talk about that before Christian gets here.
That's a different type. See, Marvin,
you got a
that's a
girlfriend
different
now?
type of player. That's a different type
You got a
of player.
girlfriend now?
Yes.
You moving out? You moving up? Oh, you got a girlfriend now?
Yes.
Why do you look so surprised?
He been saying that. He been told.
But I mean, Bo scoped that out first.
Bo was checking for?
Bo's been
Oh,
following all of
you
it.
was checking Stephen's girlfriend out, man?
Nah.
Man, we're family. We gotta look out.
Oh, man, how you gonna be checking that man old lady out?
Told us. He been told us weeks ago, man.
Man, I thought it was another blow up dog. I need to see something.
What's Steve Brown at?
Somebody's
probably
trying to
that's
check
the
in. It may be
question,
him.
That's the question. That is the question, though.
But you sound so
Steve Brown.
surprised, though, Marvin. Give the man credit. I mean, he's got the
Hold on,
most
me or-
sought after
me-
Tinder
me-
profile. He's got a profitable OnlyFans. He's got his Lynn Crafters NIL deal.
Hold on now. You can remove the OnlyFans from there. You can keep the lens crafters.
You be stripping,
Keep the
man?
lens crafters. No.
You be stripping?
To me. No. Nah.
What's your stripper name for her eyes only?
No, it's Marvin. I found the site. It says his stripper name is called Optical Thunder.
Chill.
That boy come out there with a cape on and a shirt that say everything you see in this mirror is a lot larger than you can see. Objects are closer than they appear. Let's find out, man.
Review mirror.
Let me catch you on Fox 5 over Fox 6 over there. Find out you moonlighting as a stripper, man.
I'm not moonlighting as a stripper, bro.
But it's
my bad.
funny.
That is your job.
That is not my job at all.
But it's funny, Steve and M, every time you give your blessing to a certain player, they kind of crash and burn. Ben Davis being one of the most notable. Now Ajayi Hall. I mean, it's hard to live up to your praise.
Time out, man. He came back and gave Ben Davis the ultimate. Man, Ben has been turning up in camp. Ben.
Which he had. Which
You
he
gave
did.
You gave Steve Brown hope, man. That
You really did.
Look, and I was proud to give Steve Brown that hope.
You gave Steve Brown hope that Ben Davis was going to produce after being on campus for 9 years, and he still did. And then he went to Texas and was never heard from again. What happened with that whole thing?
Well, while we think on that, our guest of honor has finally arrived, and it's time to bring him in. Stephen M. Smith, if you would, man, do what you do best, man. Bring this man on.
All right, so let me step into introduction mode here because I got a chance. I covered Bo. I covered this cat right here also. Came in 2014 from South Kakalaka, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? This dude had them hands that could knock any quarterback to the ground. I think he knocked me to the ground a couple of times. I don't remember. But he
That ain't
also
hard
had
to
the chill, Marvin. He also had some incredibly quick feet. This dude's just a monster. Flat monster. Played on a team with Rashawn Evans, Sean Robinson, Jaron Reed, Tim Williams, Ryan Anderson, Reuben Foster, all those dogs, and still wrote his own name. Still cashed his own check. Still got his own papers working around here. We're talking about a two-time, y'all, not one, but two-time national champion. We're talking about Christian Kill him out the game Miller. C-Mill, baby. 4-7. Let's get it.
Hey,
That was great, and I appreciate that, man. That was honestly, I don't even know if I was deserving of all that, but I appreciate it, man.
hey, man.
You got Steve sweating over there, man.
Yeah, you do. Like he just gave a sermon. Look at him. Come on.
I appreciate it though, man. That's respect, man. I know Steven a long time, man. Always been a solid guy. I always appreciate all the work he's done. So they don't shock me. He's so good at the introductions like that. Like I said, I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot.
Well, I appreciate you, Christian, for calling me before the show to see what I was wearing, so you could dress like me, though.
I'm not gonna lie, we do like twins, right?
Man. Christian, where you at, Christian?
I'm in Tuscaloosa.
That man say he had an undisclosed location. He don't want all
Yeah, I
these.
was about to say, boy, you trying to put me out on the internet, man. I mean,
Man, you know.
Well, you done forgot the game, you know? Come on, baby.
nah. Yeah, I'm in
No.
Tuscaloosa.
He may have, somewhat dressed like you, Marvin, but his shirt isn't 2 sizes too small.
Hey, man, listen.
It might be. It's a little tight. It's a little tight.
Hey, listen. I'll be 43 this summer, so I'm still holding it down.
I'm 43. I'm a man.
I played at Alabama before y'all were born.
I don't know about that, but I mean,
What year were you born?
96.
All right, so I got there in 98, so it's close.
It's close.
But yeah, Stephen M is available for rent anytime you need to have a party, a gathering, speaking engagement. If you have a career pending in the WWE, I mean, he's your dude.
Christian Miller's not involved in the sex trade. He don't want Stephen.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on now. Just because both your knees in the portal, don't crack on me.
Whoa. Man, we better get to the topic at hand before we get a strike from YouTube again. So, but man, welcome in. We're excited to have you, brother. Glad to have one of the hardest hitting linebackers in the history of the program, other than Martin Constant.
Thank you.
had to pacify him a little bit.
There you go.
Really? That's what we're doing now?
It is. That's what because we care, Marvin. But let's get things started, man. I want to give props to your dad, New York Giant great Cody Miller. What was it like watching him growing up?
I'll be honest. I was pretty young when he was playing, and when he retired, I still was pretty young. So I'll be honest. I didn't really get to watch too much. There's little glimpses of things that I do remember. But in terms of just generally just growing up with a dad who played, in the league 9 years, it was always cool. I was always known as, oh, your dad played in the NFL. Everybody always was asking questions, and they thought it was the coolest thing. So I always thought it was cool. So I obviously looked up to him, wanted to do it myself. He put me in tackle football when I was 4 years old, and I was playing on my brother's team, and it was like 7 and 8 year olds. And first practice out there, my first practice out there, we were doing Oklahoma drills. And I get in there. I think like my first rep, man. I think I got hit by a kid, knocked the wind out of me, and I was crying. And he was like, "Come on, you good?" And shoot, I didn't quit though. I didn't quit. I cried for about a few seconds, and I was like, "Oh no, I got to get back in there." And that's kind of where I got started. And I just like I said, I've always been around the game, and And again, having my dad play, then helping me and my brother come up play and coaching us a little bit, and just kind of guiding us and showing us the ropes, kind of helping us just follow his steps. It helped out a lot, and I was really appreciative of it.
And so you were cracking skulls at 4 years old? That's what's up, man.
Man, actually, I was playing receiver back then. I was a receiver at that time. But after that year, every year after that, I played linebacker, and
So
I didn't want to play anything else.
You didn't catch any balls your first year.
Pretty much. Hey, they put me on the 2-point conversions, but my brother was quarterback. He wouldn't throw the ball. He just wanted to run with it. But yeah, man. After that,
up, man.
yeah, it is what it is. But after that, I played strictly linebacker. I didn't want to switch it up. I think I played running back for like one game when I was a kid.
Whoa. Ain't got to do what I want to knock out.
Oh, man.
Hey, man, hey, bro, I've been looking for you. You look, I'm going to tell you something, man. First of all, you look. I'm the real light-skinned dude around here. You not the light. I'm the.
You can have that title, brother. I don't want that title. I'm not no real light skin. I might look like it, man. I'm pretty.
Hey, man, who paid? Who let this fake light-skinned dude on here? I'm the real light-skinned dude on here.
All right, now y'all know,
title, man. You can have that title. I don't want it.
Y'all know Steve Steve got alopecia, so we can't joke on him. Y'all better.
Hey, I tell you what. I bet you won't drop your location. I tell you that. I'm trying to talk like
address.
I'm trying to talk like them young dudes. I'm looking up the internet beef. Drop your location. See what happens.
There you go.
Craig Young said, "Oh no, the crystal ball is back." Steve.
Hey man, listen, man. Hey, listen, man. Listen, y'all keep my baldness out y'all mouth, man. Y'all do that. My alopecia.
Steve, you gonna be somewhere where it's cold at. You got on a sweater.
Yeah, man. Dude, it just got through raining in Atlanta, and it got cold all of a sudden, and it caught me by surprise, man. Because I ain't had no drawers on or nothing. I'm like, I'm out here all of a sudden,
Hey, that sweatshirt look like it's county issued, man. Where you at?
Camp 8.
Hey, Marvin, where you got Marvin?
You got picked up, man.
He's using his phone call to be on the show, Marvin.
Hey, Marvin, you too big for that little chain. You got a chain with a bathtub stopper. Eric, how you doing, man?
What's up? Can you hear?
Everybody got scared when I came in.
That's what it was. We're afraid you're going to send some retired rapper to slap us or talk about your alopecia.
It is what it is. Hey, man, how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, man, the way you answered that question, it made me feel like you want to jump on me now. I was just playing.
No, you good, man. I thought you said Eric earlier. I didn't know who you were talking to.
Yeah, I was like, wait, huh?
No, my neighbor. Yeah. I'm good. Go ahead.
Oh,
He out there in the yard peeling pecans, his old country ass. Snapping purple hub peas in a foot tub. Like, ain't got nothing.
But Christian, much like today, when you first got there, you had to wait behind some studs at linebacker, man. What was it like during that time, learning from Ruben, Ryan, Tim, and Sean Dion? Of course, I can name a bunch of others, but what was it like those first couple of years learning from those dudes?
Well, when I got on campus, I was only probably 205 pounds, maybe 210. So I knew I was going to have to be patient. I knew I was going to have to spend time in the weight room working with Coach Cochran. I knew I was going to have to take my time. So it was one of those things where I had already accepted it early on, and I was prepared for it. And so what I did was I just went in there and put my head down. Always went to work. I was always a sponge, always trying to soak up information and just learn from guys. And, honestly, it was a blessing just to be able to learn from those guys. And that was one of the main reasons I wanted to come to Alabama, because I knew I was a top recruit, I was a top player in the state of South Carolina. But, I just knew that, I still had some developing to do. And if I put myself in that environment, that I would ultimately become one of those guys as well. And, it's just one of those things where I didn't really – what's that?
Hey, Christian, you know what? I noticed he asked you a question and nobody picked up on it but me. He said, "How was it learning from people like Ruben and all these other great linebackers?" But he never mentioned Marvin. I picked up on that, but go ahead.
Probably because I wasn't playing them.
There's so many. There's too many to name. I mean, we got a rich tradition of linebackers here. So.
Just hey man, just say Marvin was trash. Just keep it real. Just keep it real. Just say Marvin wasn't good. I get it.
Too much talent, man. Too much talent. But
everybody want to be politically correct.
I mean, but in all seriousness, though, I have a question for you. You know, a lot of people always ask what makes a linebacker makes the choice that he makes from playing inside versus outside. And I always tell them it's two completely different worlds. Right. So what would be your answer to that question?
Well, I would agree with you 100%. They are two totally different things. You know, as a kid, I played inside linebacker. As I started getting older, you know, obviously people saw my height, my length, and they realized I probably would make a better outside linebacker. And, you know, the main difference, obviously, is, you know, at outside, depending on what scheme you're in, you're going to have more pass rush responsibility. You know, the inside linebacker position, you have to really understand run fits, how to fit those gaps, how to flow with the ball carrier. I mean, it's a lot different. I mean, it's literally apples to oranges. So two totally different things. And that's one of, like, when Coach Saban experimented with me at inside linebacker, I mean, I could do it, you know, to a certain extent, but without having all that time to really understand those run fits, it takes time to learn that stuff. And, you know, it's one of those things, like I said, it's a totally different world. You know, I'm a lot more comfortable outside, but I do take pride in knowing that I can slide in if I need to. Probably just not a full-time thing.
So is it harder to play inside or outside? Because there are people I've seen on the inside at linebacker, and they got trucked all the time, like Marvin. And I thought maybe Marvin needed to be on the outside. So I don't know. So Marvin, yeah.
I mean,
Marvin got trucked on the PlayStation.
First of all, I'm in the Paul W. Bryant Museum. If I was out there getting trucked, I wouldn't be in the Paul W. Bryant Museum, first of all, sir.
You know, that actually segues into my next question, and it's very important when talking about the battles between you and Bo in practice. And how often did you truck Bo?
Oh, you know, you guys.
I'll mute him if I need to.
Whoa. See, hold on, time out. Let me just cut you off right there. Because anytime somebody start off with an answer, well, you know, that means they ain't tell the truth, man. Don't be trying to show. Well, you know, we was eating Oreos and drinking. No, what happened?
Well, I mean, I don't think people realize. I mean, in practice, we thud. So I mean, there's not really. I mean, the only time we ever go full contact against each other is if we're doing a scrimmage. And
that ain't what Bo told us in pre-show.
I mean, hey.
No,
he said you almost transferred to Stillman.
Hey, you know what? Bo did say, Bo said he used to run your way on purpose because you was light skinned. I didn't agree, so I got off. That's why I'm just not coming back because I didn't want to hear all that. But he said he used to run your way and truck you all the time. Just because you was light skinned. I'm like, I don't want to hear this. So I got off. Now I'm just coming back. But I want to let you know that.
Don't let these folks lie to you, man.
Nah. Bo, I ain't sweating it, Bo. I already know what it is, though. Good.
But look at Bo smiling. Look at Bo smiling. Listen, he said it.
He said what
he said it.
I said, Steve Brown need to put some paper oil on that head because his head is peeling.
Man, Steve said he's working. He the model for the next iteration of Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
Hey, Christian, I promise you. Hey, Christian, this is what made me mad and made me want to leave the show. Bo was talking about you so bad. He said you came to practice with the same shirt Stephen M had on in practice. He's that same shirt Stephen went there, you wore it in practice.
About the flannel right now? I don't remember wearing the flannel in practice, man, but nothing wrong with the flannel.
That shirt is awful. That shirt made out of nylon paper.
Wrong with it.
I can't get on Steven. He was nice and gave me one hell of an intro, man. So I
That is true.
Man,
That shirt
God.
looked like he driving a 1970 C100 truck with a camper shell on the back, with the back
Hey,
window broken.
What he hauling?
Hey,
What he hauling?
hey, hold on.
Watermelons.
I actually got the truck. right now.
Hey, man, see,
C100.
Steven shirt make him look like he smoked reefer, not weed, but reefer.
Marion County.
He stopped
But,
at TA truck stop for a shower.
Wow. Steve, you gonna let them do you like that, Steve?
Look, man, hey. I ain't offended.
Bo said TA truck stop.
I ain't offended.
Hey, Marvin got on a turtleneck, but the turtle paw gone.
Yeah, boy, got my
Where your turtle paw?
You just happen to be outside on the yard for this 20 minutes of recreation. We know you're gonna have to leave soon.
But question from the audience for you, Christian, from Jamie Wilhelm. What do you think about the current Alabama team prospects?
You mean like that are on the team now, or you mean like high school?
Yeah, on the team now.
You mean for this year, this draft right now?
Currently coming up. Yeah.
Currently. Man, I think there's a lot of good talent. I mean, offensively, you obviously got all the receivers. I feel like they're all going to do great at the next level. You got Evan Neal, big offensive tackle, should be number one tackle taken. Depending on a team's needs, I mean, he could be in the top 2, 3 picks. Defensively, you got Christian Harris at linebacker, a complete linebacker, stop the run, fast, athletic, and dropping coverage. I'm trying to think of who else.
Why saying got to be Christian though?
What about Brian Robinson?
Oh, B-Rob, of course. B-Rob, man, I respect B-Rob so much because, he kind of had a similar path to me in terms of, being patient, waiting to turn. I've had talks with him, about, staying patient because B-Rob's one of those guys, man. I mean, he's been doing it in practice since he's been here. And
he's a good dude.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude off the field and on the field. I mean, he's a hell of an athlete. He's fast, physical. I love the way he plays. And again, like it was just a matter of him getting his opportunity. So I've always been pulling for him, and I'm just so happy to finally to see him finally get that opportunity that he deserves.
Well, let me ask you this. And I've been ranting about it for the longest, and it's finally happened. Jai Hall, what do you think about them getting rid of him?
I don't like speaking on stuff I don't really know too much about, but I will say, with me personally, again, I had to be patient. I had to wait behind guys. I had to wait my turn. I think it's all about perspective.
But Christian, you know what? You waited patiently. You came in and you did your thing. You wasn't on Twitter every other damn month. Well, why not me? This and that, and this and that. You weren't a distraction, and that's my whole thing. And now with this young fella, I'm sure he was super talented and all that. Everybody got to wait your turn at Bama. It seems that way, unless you just like one of those freak athletes. But dude, Marvin didn't wait his turn because, of course, he's retarded. But look, the thing is, then it feels sorry for him. But the thing is, and no disrespect to anybody, but anyway, look. But all jokes aside, I was so glad that they got rid of him because of the fact that we don't need any distractions. And he started out becoming a distraction, and he continued to do so. So I'm just happy for the team that he's gone. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he's this and that or whatever. But it's just if we're looking to try to win a championship, all distractions should be gone. Do you guys agree as former players?
I agree with you, Steve, but I'm going to give young players this one piece of advice. Before you jump on Twitter, Instagram, any other media platform to voice how you feel about it, let your actions in practice speak 10,000 times louder than those words you're going to type. Like I said, I was very disgruntled my freshman year. So instead of arguing and saying what I was and wasn't going to do,
I agree.
I went out there and shut practice down every day I made sure every day they knew, that they made a mistake, and I was starting the next year. Because again, I let my actions speak louder than any words that I could have said. So if he feel like he that dude, then he should have been out there crushing number one DBs hands down. Then once you do that, they're gonna give you your shot. But if your performance in practice
Yep.
is not speaking volumes of what your mouth is saying, then just shut up.
My thing here, Christian, is
And then
I
Marv.
remember.
Then Marv.
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, and then he got his shot on the biggest stage ever, and he blew it. He dropped passes. So come on, bro. You had your chance. I feel like you haven't gone through anything else other Bama players hadn't gone through. And
Exactly.
I mean, nobody can say anything about this dude as far as defending him, because all I gotta say is B Rob. B
Well, and,
Rob.
and here's the
B
thing
Rob
about
sat
it,
there
Steve.
waiting to hurt.
This
Jalen
is
hurt all of them.
this is the
Mike
thing
Jones.
that everybody who goes to Bama understands, that there's gonna be guys in front of you that are all Americans, all SEC, all everything. That is a given. So you go into it knowing you got to fight these battles. But if you're not prepared to fight them, then just shut up. Don't
Stephen
bring
M.
your
Dude,
mouth.
dude came in as a diva. He came. I'm sorry. I mean, wherever he came from, he got a lot of home cooking. He got a lot of privilege. He got all that. And when he came to Bama, he discovered, look, you got to work to get yours. We're not going on your reputation. We going on what you show us today. We're not
Right.
going on no film. We're not going on all that what you did in high school. We're going to judge you on what you're doing today, right in front of us today. And that's what his problem was. He couldn't take it.
Stephen M. You had a question you wanted to ask Christian
I'm
before.
sorry, Stephen. Go ahead.
Oh, you good? You good? Now, Christian, my thought was 2017 when another linebacker room went through some injuries and still found a way to win that championship. Just go back to that season, how tough that adversity was, because it seemed like each week, whether it was you or Rashawn or Anthony, like somebody was going down, but y'all still held that thing together.
Yeah, well, real quick, I want to just say what I was about to say on that last thing about Hall. I will say nowadays, if you look at a lot of these kids nowadays, it's all about instant gratification, and there's not so much
Yeah.
patience. I mean, if you go back and look, and there's nothing wrong with this, but nowadays it's transitioned to when these guys do these commitments. Now they're saying for the next 3 years. That used to be, I'm going to attend or I'm going to be the next 4 to 5. Now guys are saying for the next 3. So it's like people automatically are assuming, they're going to go to a college 3 years, they're done, they're going to the NFL. But they just have to understand, like, there's so many circumstances and things that can happen that you just have to be prepared. And like y'all were saying, as you saw, he was voicing his frustration, which probably is not the best thing to do. And then he happened to get his shot at the best stage. And unfortunately, it wasn't his best showing. And, again, it's all about what you can control. And I look at it like myself. I mean, again, I had probably every reason to maybe want to try to transfer at some point in my career, whether, just for my circumstances. But again, I just always knew it's not always just about that instant gratification. Things are a process. I mean, I know it sounds cliche, we preach the process, but it's true. And that's why y'all are mentioning, you end up seeing guys, whether it's myself, Mac Jones, Brian Robinson, the guys that really just dive into that process and you focus on what you control. You normally end up getting on in the end. It can be a matter of time, and that's okay. Because date doesn't mean denied. And I think a lot of guys need to understand that. Just because it's delayed doesn't mean
I like that.
denied.
I like that.
But
I like
to
that. And you
answer,
know what? And looking at you, looking at Bo, and looking at a lot of y'all, the only thing that he didn't commit to being built by Bama like y'all were. That's why y'all walk away with rings. Y'all committed and stayed, and y'all continue y'all commitment, and y'all were built by Bama, like y'all
yeah,
came to do. And he didn't want to
yeah.
do that. He didn't want to get built. He just wanted to go on the field.
Like I
Yeah.
said, it's kind of you see it with some of these younger guys nowadays. And I'm not saying this to pick on anybody but I'm just saying it's kind of a generational
I
thing.
am.
I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, he had his shot, and when he went out there, Christian, he looked like you and me out there trying to catch deep balls.
I definitely can't. Hey, I don't have hands. I can tell you that right now. Don't put me
Hey,
on.
he looked like us out there trying to catch. Like, man, Don't throw the ball my way. Listen, I was built to tackle, all the other stuff. Y'all can keep that.
Yeah. But Steven, answer your question. Sorry. But that year, 2017, yeah, for me, it was rough. I finally waited my turn. I was coming off my best spring, that spring prior, my best training camp. I earned the starting job. Went into that game with a pretty bad ankle injury, but I still was like, nah, I finally got my starting job. I'm ready. And then sure enough, I tear my biceps tendon. And I was told then you got Sean getting hurt.
It's about the process.
Yeah, it's about the process. Terrell got hurt that same game. Rashawn, Anthony. But honestly, what really helped was having guys like Jamie Mosley, who's my roommate, best friend. Still, we're brothers to this day. He stepped in. He filled that void for us throughout the season, and just having guys that we could rely on to just pick up where we left off and to just hold it down for us. And again, it just boils down to just how bad we wanted it. Everybody wanted it. We were a tight unit, and we just knew as long as we just kept working through our trials, at the end of the day, we would still get that shot once everybody got healthy, and that's ultimately what happened that year.
I want to touch
Hey,
on.
hold on.
You know what?
Time out.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Time out, though.
Go ahead.
I got a comment on this one comment in this comment box. You are right. Central, we should have had an ESPN 30 for 30. We were actually on ESPN one time when we actually beat the team 91-20. At the end of the first quarter, it was 49-0. But your uncles, Jay Jones, Lil Jay Jones, and Big Jay Jones, they was dynamic players. I love both of those guys. If y'all not familiar, one of them, Jason Jones, actually plays cornerback and safety at Alabama. So, yeah. All right, sorry to interrupt y'all. But, yeah, we should have had a 30 for 30.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, I was going to touch on what Steven's question. Well, I want to add to it. For you personally in 2017, speaking about that injury, a lot of people wouldn't have came back, but you worked harder than anybody I'd ever seen to try to battle back, and you made it back in time for the playoff and the national championship. What went into that to get you back in time for those two pivotal games?
A lot of rough rehab. Man, it was rough. But everybody speaks of him, and there's not enough words to say about him and his staff. But Jeff Allen, you got Jeremy, you got Bobby Feedback, Miss Ginger. I'm probably missing some people. There's so many people that in that athletic training room that help guys like me and Terrell rehab back. And they take their job so serious, and they care for us players so much that they attacked it with us. And like I said, it's just a lot of rehab and a lot of you just putting your mind to it. Because originally I think me and Terrell were both supposed to be done for the season, but the more rehab we did, and the further along we got in our rehab, it started becoming a possibility. And once we kind of got that news that there was a chance, all I needed to know was that there was a chance. And I was like, "There's no way I'm just going to just call it a season." So I just went in there.
May I ask a question?
Steve, they had him down there drinking that pickled pig feet juice. That's what got him back so fast.
hey, listen. So listen. So if you get hurt, right, and you go through rehab and all that, does it still affect your number on the depth chart? Because me, when I was in high school, I went from
you
like
wasn't
fourth
getting in the
string
game, no way.
No, I went from fourth string all the way to second string on the practice squad, and I was just wondering, how does that process work?
Yeah, they're not always going to throw you right back in there.
Hold on, why y'all laughing? What's the problem?
Because they wouldn't even let you bust through the paper at high school games. But you talking about you was finna get on the field. They wouldn't even let you bust through the paper, man.
Hey man, I feel like I'm proud of myself. You look, I go from Christian, think about this. I went from fourth string all the way to second string on the practice squad. Is that not growth? Is that not
Bo.
gross?
That's
Hey,
growth, man. That's
hey, Bo and Christian. Y'all all know we was in high school. That one senior that was playing on the freshman team. That was Steve.
That was him.
Out there talking about he scored 5 touchdowns. Man, you 18 playing with 14-year-olds.
Hey, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I was 19. That's a lie. I was 19.
Steve, I understand. They just won't let you be great, man.
I know. No, Bo telling all these lies. Somebody I was 18. I was 19, dude. Chill out.
At Bishop Sycamore.
I know.
Right.
He was proud to wear that game jersey on Mondays. Huh?
But I mean, Christian, people talk about receivers all the time, but being around that outside linebacker room was just a fun joy for me. Watching you and J-Mo and Anthony and Terrell, just the brotherhood that y'all four had, the entire room, but definitely y'all four. What was it like, that brotherhood between y'all four?
It was special, man, because again, I mean, you had me and Terrell doing rehab together, so we obviously, I mean, we're, thing 1 and thing 2 in there. I mean, because I had a biceps tear and he had, I believe it was an elbow, somewhat similar, but we were always together. Then again, you had Anthony and J-Mo kind of holding it down for us, and we all were just a unit. Like you said, I mean, there's times where Anthony went down, and J-Mo kept moving more, and man, it was just special because we all knew that we could count on each other, whether it was on the field or even off the field for support. Some of those days where you just really just like, man, we're just going through it. It's tough right now, so it was a blessing to have guys like that. I mean, and it shows till today. I mean, again, me and Jamie are still super close. Me and Anthony are super close. Me and Terrell are super close. All of us are still so close, and I'll just always cherish that bond in that room because again, it's gonna last a lifetime.
We are close. We are close.
But that brotherhood and bond definitely came into play in that instant classic 2018 SEC championship against Georgia. Monumental comeback win. What all went into that to ensure that victory? Because at some point, some people counted us out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. That was probably one of the most intense games I feel like I've ever played in. I mean, it just was so. I mean, you got two heavyweights going at it, just going back and forth, and everybody knows the story. How it went down, but it's just a special team. A special group of guys to really go out there and get that job done. And it, again, I always remember that game because again, that's an instant classic. Just so many just back and forth and so much going on in that game, and it had me I was on the edge.
Jake Fromm remembers it too because you dealt him a lot of punishment in that game.
I was getting after that game. I had a good game that game.
Now, Christian, what were you doing when Tua threw the game-winning touchdown pass in the national championship? Like when that ball was up in that air and Smitty caught it, what was your reaction? What were you doing?
Man, I just remember I was on the sideline watching, and I don't know why I feel like it almost kind of hit me like a second late, like. Just because I think it just was so much going on that game, like, you know what I mean? And then it's just like out of nowhere.
Because like J-Mo went crazy. J-Mo was running on the.
He ran. I mean, I ended up running on the field too. Matter of fact, those pictures behind me are those 2 long pictures behind me. Those are from the championship games, and you can pinpoint, everybody running on the field. It's actually kind of funny, but yeah, I went into running on the field. There's actually a picture of me. I think I look like I'm crying. I'm like hugging Tua. And it looks like I'm crying. Everybody's always getting on me like, dude, what are you doing? I'm just like, hey, man. And it was emotional because, I mean, bro, I mean, we went through so much then, for that to happen. It just, man.
Right. I've never seen Coach Saban change emotions in like 5 seconds. Like
Right.
he went from we dead to, oh, my God, let's go. Like I've never seen Saban like switch that quick.
I mean, I think everybody felt like that because, again, there was just so much, push and pull in that game, and you just didn't know how it was going to go. And man, I mean, like you couldn't have written a better end for that. And it was, man, I always remember that.
I was almost the second camera guy that got knocked out. You know how Irv knocked out the first camera guy?
Yeah,
I was
remember
almost the
that.
second one to get knocked out.
I can imagine. I'm sure there was probably a bunch of people almost getting trampled, man. It was a circus afterwards, but rightfully so. I mean, we earned that one.
So, what did you have against Kyler Murray, man? Because you punched him in that playoff game, dropped him, and then, matter of fact, your first 2 sacks in the NFL were against Kyler. Man, what was that battle like? And does he still have nightmares when they say your name in front of him?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. I mean, sure, he's having a hell of a career, so I think he's just
He
fine.
is.
But no, it was ironic. But I just remember going into that Miami game. He won the Heisman. And there was a lot of noise. Obviously, I think people were trying to say other people should have won it, obviously. But I just remember they kept talking about him, and rightfully so. He's a great talent, great athlete. But I just remember our defense was just kind of pissed off because we were just kind of like all due respect to them, but like they're not really showing us any respect, and we kind of were getting pissed off. So we went into that game. We really wanted to prove ourselves. And I just remember that pass rush that game, man. We were on point. I mean,
Yeah.
I had that sack and follow up. Anthony had a sack. I think the next play, I mean, they weren't getting any movement that whole first half. And I just remember we were really feeling it that game. And unfortunately, I ended up tearing my hamstring in the second half because I really feel like I probably would have had a 3-sack game if I didn't tear my hamstring because I really was, man, I was feeling it that game. And unfortunately, that was my last college game, man. But like I said, one way to go out. I had a good game that game, and then, like I said, I followed up in the pros. Used my first 2 sacks in Arizona. So it was a very, very interesting thing. I mean, I don't know if I just have some special connection with this man, but I don't know.
You sent him a Christmas card?
I need to. Like I said, no, he's probably just fine. He's doing just fine.
With those Christmas card, Marvin.
You collect Christmas cards? You
No,
still
no,
over there
no,
with
no,
yeah,
no,
you still
no, I
over there
don't.
with Elf on the shelf talking about who moved it.
I collect Christmas cards. I do not collect Christmas cards. I don't do that. Shoes. I collect shoes, though.
There you go.
Orthopedics, man, please. I bet you got
Man,
you got
Jordans, Nike,
you got them
Adidas,
Skechers over there. I see
AC
you now.
Adams, OG Gators. We got them all in here.
Oh,
I bet you got a pair of all white New Balance too, don't you?
Hey, don't be hating on them New Balances though. They making a comeback a little bit. They making a little comeback.
Before I ask one last serious question, can you remember the first time that you got a chewing from Coach Saban?
Oh Lord.
The first time, I'll be honest, I don't know if I remember the first time, and I probably got a handful. I think everybody's got a handful if you played there for a little while. But I know the one I definitely remember was my senior year when we were playing Louisville that first game, and man, I think it might have been like a 3rd and long or something like that, and they didn't convert. But this O lineman was I don't know, man. He was doing the extra stuff after the whistle. He was trying to tackle me from behind. And so I retaliated. I got up and, threw him off of me.
Oh, yeah.
Complete retaliation. I wasn't doing it to be dirty. I wasn't doing anything. I was defending myself. Sure enough, they always catch a second guy. And they threw the flag on me, gave them a first down. Obviously, he pulled me out. And, I mean, he was ripping me from when I was 20 yards from away from the sideline. So as I walked down the sideline, he was ripping me. I was saying, yes, sir. Looking at the scoreboard, yes, sir. And he just was going and going. And, man, I just remember I was just like, damn, I'm like, did you know what the guy was doing to me? I'm like, I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm like, damn. Like, I'm trying to get him off me. So it was one of those things where I get on Twitter after the game and I have all these notifications and people like, you're selfish, man. You like, what are you doing?
Dang.
And I don't think they understood. They just saw. I think the camera showed him yelling at me, and so they just assumed that he was yelling at me. He probably was right. But sure enough, we get to meetings that next week, and he obviously brought it up as a coaching point, but he had time to actually see it and understand it. So he started kind of letting back a little bit, and he came up to me at practice and was like, hey, are we good? Are we good? Are you still mad at me? And I'm like, nah, it's cool, man. It's all good. It is what it is. I mean, you don't embarrass me on TV and have all these Twitter fans mad at me for getting a penalty. I'm getting deserved.
Christian, how hard is that though? Like, cause he is on you. He is on you. Like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
hard is that to take that though?
You just gotta, it's one of those things that you expect it. Number one, and number two, I mean, it does hold you accountable. I'll tell you one thing. I knew for the rest of that season, I wasn't. I don't care if somebody was smacking me in the back of the head. I wasn't going to risk getting a penalty like that because it wasn't worth it. So
But
I mean, that's it's tough love. It is what it is. It's no hard feelings. Like I said in the moment, I kind of was like, "Damn, coach, I'm saying yes, sir. I understand." But like I said, it's all good. You just gotta just agree with them, and just know that if you didn't really do anything wrong, he'll understand that later, and it is what it is. You just gotta be a man about it and just hold your head down and just be respectful.
these Twitter heroes, they always got
Yep.
something to say on
Uh,
this keyboard. Like,
yeah, all the
hey, you,
time.
you want to tell me something? I give you my address and you pull up and we can really talk about it.
Right,
They quick to want to. You
right.
shouldn't have
It's
said
not about the
this.
complex.
Everybody want to be tough now. Till it's time to be tough for real.
Sounds
Absolutely.
about right.
Well, before we go into our closing segment, Christian, can you remember what was your favorite play or your best moment at Alabama?
Tell them about that move I taught you and how it worked out when you went out there.
Yeah, the quick little one. Yeah, 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 yeah. That was go to. You got me right on that one. Now, honestly, honestly, I mean, again, just coming back from that injury and then winning that championship that year, I mean, that was honestly probably the most special thing. And then getting my first, well, I got in on a half sack against Clemson in the Sugar Bowl. They didn't give me my credit for it for whatever reason. All good though, because I
I
got.
still don't get that.
I don't know. I don't know. They don't. They're. It's politics sometimes, man. But I got my full against Georgia, so that play right there was special because I worked my tail off.
Oh, you're good.
Oh,
Say
You're
what
good.
you want.
I don't want him to lose
We
his.
don't have the FCC
I don't
on
want
here,
him to get
Chris. Man, on
demonetized on
man.
YouTube. But no, I worked my tail off that whole year, and it meant the world to me to be able to number one just be back out there with my brothers, and then to again as a pass rusher. I mean, it's not all about getting sacks, but obviously that's like the reward. That's what you're working for. So for me to go out there and get that sack in the national championship game, and for us to win the national championship game, that was just very special to me. I always remember that. Again, it means a lot to me. But my honestly, my proudest thing I will say, obviously winning championships and all that, but coming here, um, I always thought it would be the coolest thing to be voted captain at a school like here, under a coach like Coach Saban, to have your hand, in the cement at any times. And it seemed like a long shot when I first got here because again, I was a small fish in this pond, skinny kid, didn't know where I fit in, and then to see myself voted captain by my teammates, number one, just meant the world to me because it showed how many people respected me and everything that I try to do. Because my senior year, especially, I try to lead by example. I wasn't always the most vocal. I learned to be vocal because I had to. But it was one of those things where it just showed how much respect those guys had for me, and that was one of my biggest goals. And to be honest with you, being voted captain, honestly, I mean, I got a tattoo on my arm that represents it. I don't take that lightly. That's probably one of my most proudest moments in my life. So I always cherish that. That's when this place is special to me. I always take pride in telling people that I played for Alabama and let alone was voted team captain.
That's what's up. Moving into our closing segment, Marvin, what's the latest on 40 Plus Strong? And also give folks an update on your rehab if they've not seen your videos just yet.
Yeah, so just had total knee replacement surgery December 23rd. Proud to announce we are back to 100% fully recovered in 3 months. Back to leg pressing 450, 500 pounds. I gained some weight from eating all the cheeseburgers and ice cream and everything else from being depressed. So what was that? January 10th, I was 254. Yesterday, I was 214 when I got off a scale. So I dropped 40 pounds in 2 months, got back to the old me, got the knee right, we got everything back right. So, happy to be back to normal.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
And if I could drop 40 pounds while going through rehab from total knee replacement surgery, none of y'all have any excuses for anything because I couldn't even walk. I'm on a walker. How do you lose 40 pounds while you on a walker for half the time?
You're absolutely right. Great point. One last question for you from the audience, Christian. Jamie Wilhelm wants to know, what are you doing in Tuscaloosa since you're from the Carolinas?
They might be
Uh,
stalking you, man. Be careful how
yeah,
you answer this.
no, it's all good. No, I mean, I think it's pretty well known. A lot of guys end up coming back here um, because, again, I mean, they treat us so well. I mean, they allow us to work out at the complex, the facilities. They let us, eat up there. We can do rehab and treatment. So I've always been coming back here. Plus, my family, moved down here when I come down here, and this honestly has become home to me. So I ended up I have a spot here for when I'm in town, and like I said, I enjoyed a lot here. I have a lot of friends and family around here now, and just a special place to me. I mean, I don't know if I'll be here, forever, but obviously, being able to utilize the complex and still come around here, it makes sense for me to have a little home base here.
No doubt, no doubt.
Right.
Before we
Next time I'm at home, I'm gonna hit you up. Dinner
Yeah.
and drinks on me. I got you.
There we go. There we go.
Before we close things out completely, I have to remind folks in our audience, if you're in the Atlanta area, check out our boy Cyrus Jones. He'll sell you an amazing house. Cyrus Jones, ATL Luxury Real Estate. Number is on the screen right there. And if you don't pay it, he will pick it off, repossess it, and you're done. Also, if you have any fencing needs, DJ Petway Precision Fencing, both commercial and residential. His number's on the screen there too. So make sure you hit him up. And also too, fans of Kerry Good, if you'd like to help donate to his foundation and his cause to help fight ALS, go to www.goodfoundation.org and find out how you can help. He also has an upcoming celebrity golf tournament, so I'll be looking out for that. Also in 2 weeks.
Time out. Shout out to my guy too, Dennis Alexander, man. If y'all would keep his family in your prayers. Dennis lost his dad 2 days ago. If you're not familiar, Dennis actually played with me at Alabama. He got there in the class of 99. He was at 99 to 03. But yeah, he just lost his dad 2 days ago, man. So keep my guy in your prayers, man.
Absolutely. Also, Bo Scarborough train these kids, man. Shout out to the old Bo, man. Bo work with these kids. So
What, he teaching them how to shoot dice? Damn. Mama need a new pair of shoes. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, Bo, go ahead and plug what you got going on next Monday night. You said a little bit about it on your Facebook.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be training at 4:30 at on the band field at Alabama. So whoever want to come get that work with me, they can come get that work. So it's going down every day, 4:30.
That's what's up. So
Can Stephen F. Smith come? I want to see this.
Hey, I can come now. Hey, bring my cleats.
He gonna pull 2 hamstrings and an lower back muscle getting out the car.
You funny, Marvin. Funny.
And one more little bit of good news. In 2 weeks, former Alabama All-American safety Kevin Jackson is going to be inducted into Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. So I will be there, and I'm going to be covering a little bit of it, and I'm going to show it on that episode that week. So if you're in the Jackson, Mississippi area, come support him. He's going to be inducted at the Hines Community College Rankin campus at 6 p.m. Central Time. Man, Christian, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate you putting up with our nonsense. If you would, man, tell folks how they can find you in social media and what's up next for you.
Yeah, no. First and foremost, I appreciate y'all having me. This makes me want to kind of get on the podcast, start doing this now. I love talking football, love talking just everything. So I appreciate y'all having me. Might need to come back on again sometime, but
please do.
Yeah, y'all can find me Instagram. I think it's at @VCMill. Twitter, I think it's at Christian MILLR. So Miller without the E. I think I have a public Facebook page, it's Christian Miller. But man,
Hold on, time out. What year were you born in?
96.
And you have a Facebook page?
Yeah, but I have a personal one, but I also have one of the public ones.
Hold on. Your generation said that's an old folks tool. So that's why I'm like, you got a Facebook page?
I mean, I'm an old school kind of guy. Maybe you can't tell. I mean, I hunt in my free time. I really just kind of
see you got that book
fish
on
too.
the wall back there.
He hunt and fish.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm an old soul, man. So
You need to spot the 100 Alabama. My folks, we got several hundred acres down in Hale County.
I might need to take you up on that. I'm always looking to add some stuff to my walls.
Yeah, so the one guy who was talking about we needed that 30 for 30, he's talking about his uncles, Jason and Josh. So Josh hunts a lot. And Josh, he's gone down there several times. Man, they be down there killing hogs with knives and running dogs and stuff. I ain't into all that. See, cause I can't get away if one get after me a wild hog. I'm done. But hey, if you want to go, I'd be happy to set it up for you.
You know, I was about to say I've experimented with a little bit of all that, man. I'm not gonna lie, I might stick, just shooting.
I mean, but whatever your pleasure is, they got it all. They got the blind set up, everything. The feed state, whatever, it's already there. But me, I ain't going out there because I can't get away from nothing.
No doubt. Hey, I was going to take you up on that, man. I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Great show tonight. Thank you again, Christian. Roll Tide, guys.
Roll Tide.
We rolling hard.